Good morning and welcome to KidNuz, generously sponsored today by the Mazer family of Avon Lake, Ohio, to give a big, proud shout out to Elin and Cole and all their friends at the Lakewood Catholic Academy in Lakewood, Ohio. I'm Kim. Today is Friday, January 27th, 2023. And we begin with a stroke of the president's pen offering new protection for America's largest forest. Environmentalists are applauding a new rule announced by the Biden administration to ban logging and road building across much of the Tongass National Forest. Located in southeast Alaska, its nearly 17 million acres are home to 400 species of wildlife, including an estimated 30,000 bears. It's also home to some of the country's oldest trees, with 800-year-old groves of cedar, hemlock, and Sitka spruce providing nesting spots for the area's large population of bald eagles. The old-growth timber also helps fight climate change by storing carbon, a major contributor to global warming. The government's new restrictions are expected to go into effect starting today. The promised crackdown on Netflix password sharing is coming. The popular streaming company reportedly plans to put the brakes on the practice by the end of March. According to its website, a Netflix account is for people who live together in a single household. However, the company believes millions of people are thumbing their noses at this rule and sharing accounts with other family and friends near and far. Going forward, the company will reportedly use people's geographic locations to identify subscribers and ask them to verify their account with unique authentication codes. Barbie just welcomed another trailblazer to its lineup of inspiring women dolls. Bessie Coleman broke barriers in the 1920s by becoming the first African-American and Native American woman to hold a pilot license. In the U.S. at the time, discriminatory laws prevented Bessie from qualifying to be a pilot. But rather than give up her dreams, Queen Bess, as she was known, learned French and moved to Paris, where she could legally become an aviator. At age 29, she finally got her license. The Bessie Coleman doll joins the ranks of other powerful women, such as Susan B. Anthony, Rosa Parks, and Helen Keller, all representing the power of perseverance and determination. It seems like we may all have a little in common with Dr. Dolittle. Using a video game, researchers at the University of St. Andrews in Scotland believe humans have the ability to understand some common behaviors of great apes. The 5,656 adults who participated in the study were shown videos of bonobos and chimpanzees making gestures like "groom me" or "give me that food." Then they were asked to identify their meanings. More often than not, their answers were right. The scientists believe humans may have inherited this ability from their evolutionary ancestors. With mask mandates on the decline, many are ending up stuffed in drawers or tossed away, but not if you're the First Lady. 2 of Jill Biden's face masks are now on display at the Smithsonian National Museum of American History, along with the outfits she wore on President Biden's Inauguration Day. The latest edition is a first for the museum's First Ladies collection, which has exhibited inaugural ball gowns for many of the nation's First Ladies going back to 1912. Due to the COVID pandemic, the Bidens didn't have a fancy ball, so Mrs. Biden donated the 2 less fancy dresses she wore that day instead. One of them features the flowers of every American state and territory. As for including the masks in the exhibition, the First Lady said they represent the enormity of what we all faced at the time, a pandemic that has changed our world forever. Thank you again to proud parents Patrick and Kelly Mazer of Avon Lake, Ohio, for underwriting today's episode. Hello to Elin and Cole, and shout-outs for all their teachers, Miss Miller, Ms. Peck, Mr. Sinchak, Ms. Worrell, Mr. Fletcher, and all of the LCA Saints. Now today's KidNuz quiz. In what state is the newly protected Tongass National Forest? Alaska. When does Netflix reportedly plan to crack down on password sharing? By the end of March. Who is the latest trailblazing figure to join Barbie's lineup of inspirational women? Bessie Coleman, the first African-American and Native American female to get a pilot's license. Where are Dr. Jill Biden's inauguration dresses and face masks now on display? at the Smithsonian National Museum of American History. And in our Kid News kicker, Valentine's Day, just a few weeks away, is a holiday with a long-standing connection to candy. That's certainly true for Evan Poloquin from Rochester, Minnesota. His love for Pez dispensers began when he was 4 years old and got one as a Valentine's Day gift from his parents. Now 13, Evan has amassed an impressive 236 in his collection, ranging from Elvis to Olaf, Scooby-Doo to Mickey Mouse, all proudly displayed on pegboards in his bedroom. Most are still in their original packaging, which, if he ever decides to sell them, would increase their value. And they're likely to stay that way, since, as he told one reporter about the candy inside, he doesn't like the taste. Before we go, we want to shout out our terrific Kid News teachers, starting with Ms. LaBonda and her Lions at Nathan Hale School in New Haven, Connecticut. Mrs. Degenhardt and her Yetis at Reunion Elementary in Commerce City, Colorado. Mrs. Gans and her Bobcats at Van Buren School in Caldwell, Idaho. Mr. Martin and his Bobcats at Bitterroot Elementary in Billings, Montana. And Mrs. Nye at Concordia International School in Hanoi, Vietnam, where all of her students know she is obsessed with chocolate. Thanks for listening, everyone. For those who signed up, our weekly word search is in your emails. And for everyone, our Week in Review quiz is up on our website. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here for more Kid News Monday morning.